Hello and welcome to Summer Stretch with me today. Let's start sitting up today. And I always like to do these little knee rolls, so leaning back on your hands, just getting some movement through the hips. I've probably done this in every session. But I do like them, especially if you're just jumping into a 20-minute session. It's kind of hard to warm you guys up enough, get you some movement and cool you down. And this is a really good basic movement, but really effective. So just some moves there, side to side. Good. All right, we're going to take our legs out in front of us, just toes up, knees bent. We're going to hug the knees and just round the back, so you get a nice stretch through the back here. So we're going to come into a forward bend, so I'm giving you lots of options. You can stay here. You could straighten out your legs. You might like to have a strap. I'm not a real fan of a strap in a forward bend, but reaching forward, and I want you to actually round your back here. You could hold your legs as well. I want you to tuck your chin. Almost like, actually, let's do some cat-cows first. We inhale, arch, and exhale, curl. We inhale, arch, exhale, curl. Now, if you hadn't bent knees, we inhale, arch, exhale, curl. Inhale, arch, exhale, curl. Inhale, arch, exhale, curl. Now, we're going to stay in that curl position. Now, a couple of options. You could link your fingers, gently place them behind your head and just let the weight of your arms stretch the back of the neck. You're not pulling. You might be able to straighten your legs. You might like to reach your hands and grab your shins or your toes. We're kind of rolling back here. So it doesn't look very pretty, but it's quite a rounded back forward bend. And stay there if that's feeling really good for you. If you want to change it, you can do the arching and looking up forward bend, which is a bit more hamstring focused. And then you might start to fold yourself forward, but trying to keep that lifted chest for as long as possible as you fold forward. You might even like to sort of gently turn your head like you're saying, no, 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 please don't make me do a forward bend. The neck is definitely related to the forward bends. So sometimes I find when I'm stiff, if I keep my neck moving, the back of my neck can help the posterior chain or that whole back body. Let's spend a few more breaths here. Relax your shoulders, relax your face. All right, slowly sitting up. We're going to point the toes and take the hands back. Now you could be on your elbows and lift your chest. I find that pretty intense through the front of my right shoulder though, but that might be okay for you. And you might even like to take your head back if your neck's okay. You could put a block under your head. Or you can do this with your hands. Lift your chest. I prefer this on my shoulder. You might take your head back. Just getting that stretch now through the throat. If you're feeling good, you might even lift your hips up. I'm going to stay down here. Slow breath. Right, slowly coming back up. Take your time. We're going to do some hip openers here. So let's take I'm going to face forward to you. I'm going to take my right foot and place it on the top of the left knee. Now you might stay there. That might be enough. You might be okay to fold forward a little bit. Or you might like to lean back, reach your fingers around the back of that leg and hold your leg or your shin. You can also sit up on a block my blocks over there and I'm just being lazy not getting it. And we're going to breathe here. Flexing this foot, trying not to let the ankle sickle. Sitting up tall. You could also do some little cat-cows here through your spine. I'm going to try and sit up here though and breathe. Letting that right leg relax. You might like to close your eyes. Nice stretch through the glutes and the back of the hip. Maybe a bit of inner thigh as well. A couple more breaths there. And we're going to do the knee wave, but with the leg in this same position. So we're going to undo the hands, take the hands back behind us, using our hands for support. We're just going to take the foot across and then take the knee across. So it's a little twist, sort of like those knee waves we did at the start, but just in this position. Just to free it up a little bit. Just a couple more. You might not go all the way to the floor, that's okay. And if your hips are travelling forward, keep your hands moving with you. I might end up off the screen. Let's do one more. Good. All right, let's undo and do the other side. So wriggling back, my left foot on top. Remember, you could stay here, you can fold forward, or you can draw it in, holding your thigh or holding your shin. Sitting up tall. Remember, you can cat-cow here. Especially if you're feeling a bit stiff, sometimes a little cat-cow just can free things up a little bit. Helps you to breathe, helps you to relax, helps you to kind of stay in the moment. Sometimes I find if I hold people in a position, their mind is wandering, they're looking away, they're checking their phone messages on their watch, which is not good. Slow breath there. Notice if you're gritting your teeth. Try not to hold on too tight. All right, slowly take those hands back and let's do those knee waves side to side. Good. All right, one more. All right, let's come into a Baddha Konasana position. So feet together, knees wide. Now you could sit up on a block. You could have blocks under your knees here if you needed to. Holding the feet and opening the feet up like a book. Sitting up tall. Again, some cat-cows here just to help free things up. Inhale as we arch and then exhale as we curl. Inhale, arch. Exhale, curl. Good, get that movement. And then, if it feels okay, you're going to slowly tip forward. Using your elbows on your thighs. You might even reach your hands onto the floor. Let your head go. Slow breath. Let's do about 5 more breaths here. Slowing it down. Last one. Take your time to come back up. Let's take our legs out wide and straight. And walking your hands forward. And you don't have to go super wide here. You can walk your hands forward. You could put your hands on a block. You might be able to come down onto your elbows. Again, let your head go. I'm going to stay up on my hands. And just notice, am I holding on where I don't need to? My neck, shoulders, hands, feet, just relax. Give yourself some time to slow down, to breathe, to let go of tension. Release. Now you can stay there in the middle if you like. We're going to walk our hands over to one side. Adding a little twist. I like to reach, so I'm going to my left leg here. I'm going to reach my right hand across to the foot or the shin. Then I'm going to take my left hand back behind me so I create a little twist movement. Try not to let the back hip lift off the floor. You might want to close your eyes. Again, you can cat-cow your spine. If you get to a point you're just so stiff and you feel like you can't breathe, you can't move, you're a bit stuck, adding a little bit of cat-cow can just melt. I imagine like the movement creates heat and the heat melts the tension. It helps to work into the fascia. And then you might find, I can actually go a little bit further in and I can still breathe. Maybe I can just breathe a little deeper. All right, one more there. Let's walk our hands over to the other side. Now I've got my right leg, so I'm reaching my left hand across to my shin or my foot. And my right hand is going back. So I'm adding that little twist towards the back wall. Again, cat-cowing. Relax your shoulders. Inhale as we arch. Exhale as we curl. And you might find you can kind of hang out there and go a little further in. Nice big breath. All right, slowly come up, back to the center. Let's bring our legs in. Coming into a lateral child's pose. So on the knees, we're going to stretch our right hand across to the left hand corner of the yoga mat and then leaning back, resting your head down on the forearm. We're going to turn our palm up for this one. Nice big breath. And slowly come up. Let's do the other side. Left hand across to the right hand corner. Rest your head down on the forearm. Nice big breath into that long side. Turn that palm up. Good. All right, coming up, we're going to lay down onto our back. And hands out to the side. Let's do again, knees side to side, just to add a bit of movement through the back, just to check in with the back as well. This is as much a mobility exercise as a checking in as well. We're going to do a little quad stretch. So we're going to lift up onto the toes. So bringing our heels in a little closer and we lift up onto the toes here. Now, the first step of this is to try and get your heels in nice and tight towards your bum. We're going to lift our hips. Now, you might already find you get a nice stretch through your quads just by lifting up. If that's okay and you want to get a little bit more, you're going to just walk your upper body down towards so it's like you're trying to slide your shoulder blades down towards your heels. As your knees go forward, you might start to feel that stretch in your quads. If that's okay, you start to move the knees forward and down towards the floor. And you might even like to lift your hips up. Now this can be intense on the knees, so go gently. Palms out by your side, or you might like to reach your arms overhead. And just checking in with your knees, never forcing. So pressing the heels towards you, towards your shoulders and down to the floor. Your knees away from you and down to the floor. And your hips up towards the ceiling. You're going to be like, woo! Hello, quads. Go gently. Slow down your breath. Stay here, if we can, 3 to 5 more breaths. Your legs might be shaking, so you might like to come out and go back in again. Last one. And then to come out, you're going to just walk your shoulder blades back, away from your heels. And coming back onto your yoga mat and just doing a few up and downs with your hips up and down. And we'll do one more move before we rest, do a little banana. So stretching out the legs, sliding your right leg across the left edge of the yoga mat and then hooking your left foot over the top. So hooking your feet and starting to create that nice side banana shape. Wriggle your upper body over to the right hand side of your mat as well. Feeling that long side, left side stretching out. If it's okay for your shoulders, you might reach your hands up overhead, holding your wrist. If that doesn't feel great for shoulders, you can just leave them out altogether. Nice big breath there. And let's do one more. All right, slowly undo the arms, wriggle your upper body back to the center, unhook your feet. I like to do a little lift up in the middle just to find the center again. And then slide the left leg, left heel off the edge of the mat, hook the right foot over the top, wriggle your upper body over, a little couple of wriggles. You might stay there. You might add in your arms overhead, holding the wrist. Nice big breath. I imagine I'm breathing into that long side. All right, one more breath there. Slowly undo the arms, wriggle back to the center, unhook the feet, do a little lift up, find the middle again, and down. And you might like to hug your legs into your chest. Nice little curl, little rock side to side. Little compression through the abdomen. And then release. Stretching those heels away, it's time to rest. Palms up, close your eyes. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the session. I'll see you in the next class. Make sure you give yourself a good amount of time to rest here.